Just tap her.
All right, we're about ready to go on. Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Countdown. Welcome to the West Quad Gymnasium here at Brooklyn College for tonight's CUNYAC doubleheader action. It's the Brooklyn College Bulldogs taking on the Baruch College Bearcats in a what will probably be one of the most widely contested CUNYAC matchups of today. I'm Jonathan Perriente alongside my broadcast partner Joe Leo. And Joe, for Brooklyn College, coming off that very rough loss 3 nights ago on Saturday against the College of Staten Island. Definitely a lot of things that you take away from that game. The Bulldogs really want to improve going into this game here tonight.
I mean, hey, we've asked Coach Lang. He still looks at that as a conference game. Just because the College of Staten Island moved up a division doesn't mean that they're still not one of our rivals, and that game should be taken seriously. I personally, when I looked at that last year, when I was told that they were moving up a division, I didn't think that they would be that good of a team, but looking at that team now, they got a good recruiting class that came in, and they gave it to us on Saturday at the College of Staten Island. I'm interested to see what happens when they come here, and just see it from my own eyes.
Women will see Staten Island later on in late January, but the focus now is at hand. They're playing one of the toughest teams in the entire CUNYAC conference, and well, this is a bit of a resurgence year for the women's Baruch College
Definitely.
Bearcats. This is a program about 7 years ago, that was one of the most dominant teams in CUNYAC. They would, from when we started broadcasting back in 2011, this team won 7 consecutive CUNYAC championships.
Yeah, you walk into their gym, it looks like the Boston Garden.
It really is.
There's banners on banners in that gymnasium, and last year, it was the beginning of the rebuild, I thought. Melinda Spayu, when we went to Baruch last year, she gave it to us, and she was a really good player. She's back for them this year. I think the only player that is incoming is the Division II transfer from Adelphi, Nia Dawson, who is their best player.
Nia Dawson and Melinda Spayu really complement each other extremely well. Spayu averaging about 13 points per game. You have 20 points per game for Nia Dawson.
Yes.
And I had a chat with Coach Rocco Soletto before the game about how the Bulldogs really want to attack this Baruch team. The one thing they're going to be doing more is more zone defense, not as much as woman-on-woman anymore in this one. And they really want to take away a strength of Dawson's, which is she likes to attack from the left side of the court instead of from the right. So if the Bulldogs are able to really do a lot of that shifting over and kind of taking her out of her comfort zone, I think the women will be in very good shape tonight.
I'm really interested to see what Jamont does against Dawson, because when it's not in the zone, I feel like she is the best chance at least slowing down Dawson. A girl like her, you're not going to stop her from getting her points. She's going to fill it up and she's going to get hers, but it's everyone else. How do they react to Melinda Spayu, who is also their leading rebounder for the Lady Bearcats, and just trying to keep her off the boards and making sure that the rest of the Bearcats don't beat us.
Well, you brought up Jamont, and I think it's very important that you brought that up. Tonight, Chanel Jamont is 20 points away from reaching 1,000 points as a Brooklyn College Bulldog. And this is going on in just her 3rd year. I mean, that is tremendous. You don't see, it's rare when a player can get to that mark in just 3 years with a program. Chanel Jamont could really be destined for greatness here over her final year. She could really be setting some incredible records that I don't think we've seen at Brooklyn College in a long time on the women's side.
It's really 2.5. I mean, we're in between semesters here, and I mean, if she doesn't get it tonight, she's going to get it the next game. And she could be looking at all-time record if she continues to put up points the way that she has been at the beginning of her career. And, I mean, both of us were in the building last year for Ali Mugin's 1,000-point game. So if she does reach it tonight, I expect the same sort of euphoria to be in the West Quad as it was that night as well.
The Baruch Bearcats come into this meeting 10-2 on the year, and while it's been a dominant run for this Bearcat team, they do have the one loss in CUNYAC play to Hunter. The Brooklyn College women defeated Hunter earlier this year. So right now the women's Bulldogs are still the #1 seed in CUNYAC play. undefeated so far against CUNYAC opponents. But this will be a tall order for the women's Bulldogs. This is probably going to be one of their toughest tests that they've had this year. And this is a very good game, Joe, if you're the women's Bulldogs, to kind of see how really how is this team going to be going forward? How does it shape what this team could do down the stretch from here?
I think I said this when we played Hunter, that to date, playing Hunter at Hunter was their biggest test. I now think this is their biggest test because I believe this is the best team besides the Brooklyn College Bulldogs in the CUNYAC Conference. And if it's not Hunter College, it's going to be Baruch College in the final. And we're going to have to stack. We're going to definitely see this team again. And maybe we can beat them twice. If not, beat them 2 out of 3.
Definitely we'll see. The women will see Baruch again at the Arc Arena on Lexington Avenue in Lower Manhattan about another month from now. And the schedule now, Joe, is starting to get a little tougher for the women now. It's going to be tougher teams. Again, it's all CUNYAC now the rest of the way, minus Staten Island one more time.
Right.
The women are going to see John Jay later this week here at the Quad. Next Wednesday, John Jay will be here, and that's another team that has really improved in the CUNYAC standings. So I guess I have to ask it like this. Is the CUNYAC a little more wide open than it's been in a long time on the women's side?
I would say yes, but besides the top 2. I mean, I think for whoever you want to put, either Baruch or Hunter at that number 1 spot, I mean, I would still say it's Hunter just because they're the champs.
Of course.
And they haven't been knocked off yet. But I think it's either us and Baruch or us and Hunter. And everything else from the 3 down to the 9, yes, it's a little bit more wide open, but I think those 3 teams are above everybody else in terms of just talent on their squads.
Tonight, Bulldogs will have all of their weapons. Everybody is back in the lineup tonight. Kayla Trombone was out for undisclosed reasons we will not share here, but she's back in the lineup tonight, as is Kaylin Richburg. She was coming off that ankle injury, did not play in the Lehman game in our last broadcast here at the Quad. She is back in the lineup here tonight. So the Bulldogs will have all their weapons to go against this very powerful Baruch Bearcats team. I expect we're going to see a very close, I think a very competitive game. And it's really going to come down to, I think, in my opinion, of execution.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what Kaylin Richburg can do because this is the first game that I'm seeing of hers since that FDU game at the Barclays Center. And she played pretty well in that game. So just another weapon that Baruch has to, if she's on, it's another weapon that Baruch just has to stop.
You're watching Brooklyn College Bulldogs basketball on YouTube.com, your home for everything Brooklyn. We're going to step aside for a moment as our public address announcer, Alan Zara, will be on the microphone for the playing of our national anthem. We'll be back right after this. And a very nice rendition of our national anthem here at the West Quad Gymnasium. Brooklyn College Women's Bulldogs and the Women's Baruch College Bearcats are set for action here at the West Quad Gymnasium. I'm Jonathan Perriente alongside my broadcast partner, Joe Leo. And let's go through the starting lineups for both teams. We'll begin first with the visiting Baruch College Bearcats. Number 1, Nia Dawson, the 5'9 sophomore guard and leading scorer of this Baruch Bearcats team from Bridgehampton High School from Bridgehampton, New York. She will wear number 1 and will start at the 1 position. Frances Snyder, the 5'3 guard junior out of Stissing Mountain High School from Pine Plains, New York. She will wear number 3 and start at the 2. Samira Ahmed, the 5'6 senior guard out of Hillcrest High School from Queens, New York. She'll wear number 20 and will be at the 3. Belinda Spayu, the 5'6 junior guard forward out of Notre Dame Academy High School from Staten Island, New York. She'll wear number 25 and start at the 4. And Caitlin Rivera, the 5'6 sophomore forward out of Long Beach High School from Long Beach, New York. For the Brooklyn College Bulldogs, Michelle Pena, the number 2, the 5'5 guard junior out of Maspeth High School from Elmhurst, Queens, New York, will start at the 1. Taylor George, the 5'10 junior guard out of Whitehall High School from Whitehall, Pennsylvania. She'll wear number 22 and start at the 2 position. Sarah James, the 5'10 freshman out of James Madison High School forward from Brooklyn, New York. She'll wear number 24 and start at the 3. Her sister, Erica James, the 5'8 freshman out of James Madison High School from Brooklyn, New York, will start at the 4, playing the guard position. And finally, Chanel Jamat, the 5'9 junior forward out of Leon M. Goldstein High School from Brooklyn, New York. She will wear 33 and will be the number 5. And more importantly, Chanel Jamat is 20 points away tonight from reaching 1,000 points. Only 7 Bulldogs have reached the 1,000 mark in the history of this program. The last to do it was Allie Mugen in her final season last year. The referees for this game are Jorge Martinez, Mike Hogan, and Joe Dooley. Bulldogs are being coached by Alex Lang in his 18th season on this club. For the Baruch Bearcats, it's Michael Katrozos, who has done a tremendous job turning around this program from a year ago, bringing Baruch back to the dominance they once were. Olivia Colbert, former Bulldog, is on the assistant coaching staff for Baruch, along with former Bearcat of her own, Christine Pudlovitz. As the officials are now getting set for the start of this game, the Bulldogs are going to be in their white and maroon colors, Baruch in their teal and navy blue. And here we go. The tip-off is underway. Brooklyn College takes the opening possession. And, Joe, I think we'll see very early how the Bulldogs are going to start this game off.
I'm interested to see where they go from the defensive end, whether they start out in a press or a zone.
Well, right now, Baruch, as you can tell, has a very good defense to start things off, not going off their player. As Shamat comes in on the drive, lays it up and in. Beautiful passing by from Sarah James to find Chanel Jamat for the easy finish.
18 points away for Chanel Jamat.
Making an impact early. Bulldogs have to just continue to play that swarm defense and play more zone. That was what Rocco Soletto had said before this game, how the Bulldogs have to approach Baruch. Here's a long jump shot, rattles into the net and good. That is scored by Samira Ahmed, and just like that, Baruch ties the game at 2, minute into the game. Here's a long 3 for Sarah James and a score. Sarah James puts it home. Bulldogs really coming out of the gate strong in the first minute and a half, up 5-2.
They're in the press, and it turns it into a turnover.
George with a steal, lays it up and in. A fast break quickly for the Bulldogs as they go up 5, and this is what the Bulldogs, Joe, have to continue to do.
Interesting, they forced a turnover initially on the first time that they pressed and immediately back into the zone.
Here's a jump shot off the backboard and in and good from Nia Dawson. So there's her first points of the game, making an impact right away. So very good ball movement on each side and very good scoring drives on each end as we have a whistle. Traveling violation is called against Chanel Jamat. So the Bulldogs with the first turnover of the game, and it'll be, well, with their first turnover, it'll be Baruch ball. But definitely you like the pace of the game so far to kick things off. Very good movement around, and both teams making some timely hoops.
I like the urgency from both teams, too. They're not lackadaisical at all.
Good block by Jamat. Now Brooklyn comes away with the steal. And that's the defense that Brooklyn is so well known for. Here's Erica James for 3. No good. But Taylor George grabs the offensive board. And the Bulldogs continuing to get the offense set back up. Jamont now trying to get around Dawson. And a good turnaround shot and in from Chanel Jamont. 16 now away is Chanel from 1,000.
Dawson was fronting her on the last 2 possessions, went back to behind her back, and Jamont took her to school.
Good move by Snyder, try to reverse layup, couldn't get it to fall. A whistle was called. It will be an offensive foul. Will go against the Bearcats. We'll check the foul with 7:34 to go. And it is on Caitlin Rivera. That'll be the first foul of the game.
She just reached around Jamont. You're not allowed to do that anymore. And that's all that was.
Referees will definitely be all over those type of calls as the Bulldogs will come away now. It would have been a great basket by Snyder. But Bulldogs now will reset. And Jamont again on the drive, almost put it home. Jamont got back her own rebound, and the Bulldogs will get a fresh 30. As the Bulldogs just continue to move the ball around, Taylor George had a wide open 3, no good, taken back by Snyder. As the Bearcats again come out in quick transition. Dawson on the drive, banks it off the backboard and in. Second time that Nia Dawson has made a move like that.
We need to start doubling her when we get the ball because she could do that every single time down the floor.
Here's a long 3 by Sarah James. It's no good. Rebounded by Ahmed. 6:37 remaining. Bulldogs up 9-6. And again, the good ball movement by the Bearcats. They just continue to move it around. Rivera tries a jumper. That's no good. Pena with the rebound the other way. Here's a long 3 by James, and a score by Erica James from downtown. Her first 3 of the game. Bulldogs go up 12-6, and there's the full court pressure being applied again by the Bulldogs. So you like that they're playing up in the zone. And another steal. And here comes Brooklyn. It's a 2-on-0. Pena up and in. And a timeout is called by Baruch as the Bulldogs have come out on an 8-0 run.
I don't think that Baruch was prepared for the pounding defense of these Bulldogs. And, I mean, it's trap press to a key. I mean, it's pinpoint, it's textbook, and 2 easy baskets off of 2 great steals by Michelle Pena and Taylor George, respectively. I mean, the only thing that I would say from a defensive perspective for the Bulldogs is when Nia Dawson gets the ball, double her. Make somebody else beat you. That's what I would be preaching if I'm Coach Lang. I'm saying we're not letting number 1 beat us tonight.
And you can already see the Bulldogs have come out with a lot more of energy to start this game, and Baruch definitely starting off a little slow. But now we'll see how Baruch bounces back as we're off the timeout. And once again, the Bulldogs with full court pressure. And this is what you love to see. They want to make Dawson uncomfortable, and there they are, double teaming. And again, created another turnover. And here come the Bulldogs, 2-on-0. Jamont lays it up and in. And here come the Bulldogs on a tear. Jamont now with 6 points, and the Bulldogs are up 10. And there come the Bulldogs, Joe, once again, just hounding the defense. But laying up and in was Samira Ahmed, getting through that double team and puts it home.
That's the downside to a press. Jamont's the big presence in the middle. If you beat that press, she's not there, and it's an easy 2.
Pena tried to kick it to George, lost it, but then Pena got a little too aggressive, and they'll call a foul on Michelle Pena. She was trying to steal it from Samira Ahmed. We're going to get some substitutions now coming in for Brooklyn, as well for Baruch. So Caitlin Rivera will come out of the game. In will come Daniela Zerpolo. Bulldogs will have Kayla Trembone back in the game, her first game back in a long time. She's back in there. Sarah Labiner has also checked in. Jamont will take a seat. Bulldogs almost had too many players on the court.
Lang was not happy that you don't see that in basketball. Too many men on the floor.
Coach Lang always likes things to be done a certain way. He wants his player. He's a perfectionist. Driving in was Ahmed, couldn't finish. Brooklyn comes away with it. Trembone with a nice move to George. As now the Bulldogs just taking their time, crafting up a play. And good defense being applied by Dawson there. As George was almost lost the ball. Down to Labiner. Kicked it out. It was an open shot. Labiner didn't take it. But a basket nonetheless, which was put home by Dasha Goodman. Bulldogs go up 18-8 with 4:42 to go. And again, the full court pressure the Bulldogs are applying creates another turnover. Here goes Goodman, looking down to George, scores. Beautiful passing off another fast break. Joe, Brooklyn College is on right now to start things off today.
There's no answer from Baruch to break this press. It's almost reminiscent of when we were at Baruch last year. They applied this press in the second half, and Baruch had no answer.
Driving inside, but kicking it out. And here's a jump shot, no good, off of Zerpolo. Brooklyn will come away with the rebound. And now Trembone for an open George for three. Goes off the backboard behind the shot clock. It's a turnover. Brooklyn College like the open look, though. You like the Bulldogs are finding the open player and taking those shots. Substitution now for Brooklyn. Erica James will sit down. In will come Nancy Pham. So Coach Lang going right to his bench early and often here in the first 6 minutes.
Pham's presence the past 2 games, she's played really well, so it's no shock that she's back in this rotation.
Here comes Ahmed, getting around Trembone. Here's a little jumper off the side rim, no good there. That was no good from Spayu. And Trembone almost lost it. Somehow Trembone was able to get the ball, but threw it a little too far as she was falling down. Surprised maybe a foul was not called as Trembone got knocked down on that pass.
The rule of thumb is if 2 players end up on the floor, somebody fouled somebody. And to have a no call there, that's just ridiculous.
It's Baruch ball with 3:37 to go. Bulldogs leading 20-8. Spayu, gets it back up. Kicks it out there to Millie Yee. And Ahmed almost got stripped of the ball, but a foul was called on that move by Ahmed. We'll check the foul. It's on Brooklyn. I believe Trembone. It's going to be on Trembone. It's her first. Substitution now being made by Baruch. So Frances Snyder will come back in. Going to the bench will be Millie Yee. Bulldogs, again, good hounding defense, though. They are not giving Baruch a lot of breathing room with the ball, Joe.
No space to breathe. And it's actually interesting because when Baruch gets down to this end of the floor in a half-court offense, they haven't been playing bad.
And you saw it right there. Just pounded Spayu. And there's Dasha Goodman. Kicks it out. Finds the open shot, and Pham. Shot attempt was no good. Bulldogs get the rebound. Here's Trembone kicking it out to Taylor George. Now back to Pham. Bulldogs moving inside. Labiner lays it up and in. Beautiful inside move by Sarah Labiner at 6'4". That's a mismatch. Bulldogs go up 22-8. Moving in is Snyder. Fires a shot, puts it in. Baruch trails 22-10. That was a big basket for Baruch, with Brooklyn right now in cruise control for the first 8 minutes of this game.
It's been no contest. Thanks to the press to open up this lead, it's been absolutely no contest.
But the Bulldogs know there's still a lot to be done. Labiner with a turnaround shot, kind of forced it in. Labiner got her own rebound and a foul. Sarah Labiner utilizing that 6'4" size, getting her own shot and puts it home. Bulldogs go up 24-10 and a chance for a three-point play.
I understand that she got her own rebound and put it back in, but those types of hook shots will elevate Labiner's game. She is a freshman. She will learn. Once she gets her footwork down, it's moves like that that are going to take her game to the next level.
That's what's such a great advantage that the Bulldogs have to utilize of this 6'4" Labiner out of LaGuardia High School. Bulldogs have made a substitution as well. Kaylin Richburg is now in the game, replacing Trembone. The free throw from Labiner is no good. But you got to love, and I think Coach Lang really talked about this heavily, Joe. He wants to play Labiner a lot more and increase her minutes as we go this year.
Oh, I mean, I would too. She's 6'4". There's not many women in the CUNYAC conference that can contain her at her height.
It's definitely a good trait to have someone that size on your team. And this Baruch team, as you see, is not a very big group. They're very undersized, 5'9", not a really big presence on this club. And again, there's Labiner. Just having Labiner there is such a big deal if you're Brooklyn. And there's another steal, but they're going to call a loose ball foul against Dasha Goodman. A good second effort by the Bulldogs, but they get called for their third foul of the quarter.
You can understand why Alex Lang, whenever he talks about Sarah Labiner is just smiling from ear to ear, because there is incredible talent there. If she's able to if she can hold it down in the low block, and then utilize just her vision and pass from there, she will be an unstoppable force.
Absolutely. Some substitutions made. Labiner is subbed out. In comes Chanel Jamat. And also Megan Jage has come into the game. She replaces Michelle Pena. And there's another turnover. Again, the good hounding defense. And here's Jamat finding Richburg. Look at that move and can't put it home. But Jamat right there scores. Chanel Jamat right off the missed shot from Richburg. And now Jamat with 8 points. Another timeout has been called by Baruch. As right now, Joe, the Bulldogs are tearing it up.
That ankle looks fine from Kaylin Richburg. She looks like she's moving well. And how many times do you hit that spot on the glass and it rolls out? Just a little bit too much English on that one. But
that's some of the talent that Kaylin Richburg has. She is just an incredible athlete and great ball handling ability. And that's something, wow, can't believe how many years it's been since we've seen that again.
So far, though, it's been Chanel Jamat's game. Let's not bury the lead here. She's been playing excellent, and she is now 14 points away from 1,000.
Yeah, closing in on that 1,000 mark. Jamat now with 8 points, so just 12 more, a dozen more baskets to go.
12.
It's all good, Joe. Minute 27 to go, and you can already see how quickly the Bulldogs have picked up the pace in this quarter, and you see how Baruch is just not able to keep up with the Bulldogs' energy right now in the first quarter so far.
It looks like a different team from Baruch. This is not the team that has started 2020. Since the turn of the calendar, they're 4-0 in CUNYAC play. I'm really shocked about from the effort from the Baruch Lady Bearcats.
Well, we'll see what happens as this game goes on. Right now, the Bulldogs have also done a good job keeping Nia Dawson in check, holding her to just 4 points. And again, here comes that full court pressure. The Bulldogs have been using that full court pressure the whole first quarter. And again, there are the Bulldogs just swarming as Dawson could not get a good shot, and the Bulldogs come away. And again, you see Dawson took that shot on her right side.
Decent contest. I think that's what made the difference. But Lang's trusting his defense to go one-on-one against Dawson. That might be a mismatch as the game progresses.
And look at Richburg again, just making some good moves on Snyder now, as Jage will go inside to Chanel Jamat. Jamat will take a little baby jumper, no good, but here's Richburg flying in with the rebound. Richburg tries to move in. We get a foul called. Will it go against Baruch? It should, and it is. It's 42.7 seconds left in the quarter. Frances Snyder got called for that. It's her first. Kaylin Rivera is going to go to the bench, and Millie Yee comes back in for the Bearcats. Bulldogs just continuing to keep the pressure on, and they just continue to score at will against these Bearcats. Jamat draws that double team, and just good ball movement overall. Goodman tried a long three. It's an air ball. But again, you like the ball movement. You saw that Jamat had the double team drawn to her, and then she was able to get another pass, and that just opens up space for other players.
That's a bad shot, though. I know you're up 16, and you can take that shot when you're up 16, but that is a bad shot.
And here's a little jumper off by Millie Yee off a long inbound pass. Bulldogs lead 26-12. But the Bulldogs now can hold for the final shot. Shot clock is turned off. And let's see if the Bulldogs can draw up a last-minute play. As Richburg just taking her time around Snyder. Kicks it out. Pham will fire for three. Off the rim, no good. But a strong finish to the first quarter for the Brooklyn College Bulldogs. They outscore Baruch 26-12 in the first, leading by 14. They also out-rebounded Baruch 10-4 on offensive rebounds.
It's a textbook quarter other than you didn't hold them scoreless. And, I mean, there's not many times that you can actually throw an immaculate quarter out, but it has been complete domination, and I think Alex Lang knows the talk of the town, what the talk of the town's been for the last week, and it's all been about Nia Dawson. And he's taking it right to Baruch and right to this conference saying, we're the top dog here. You got to come for us. I can't say enough. I mean, that's really it. When you go up against Hunter at their gym to perform the way they did in the first half there, and then through a quarter here, the Brooklyn College Bulldogs are taking it to the top of the top in this conference and showing why last year's championship loss was a fluke.
Well, the Bulldogs have certainly, Joe, as you said, they're very battle-tested this year. You're absolutely right. The Bulldogs played 5 games on the road to kick off the year. It started in Pennsylvania, began in Rosemont College. They then had to play a 2-game tournament in Pennsylvania. Those were their first 3 wins. Those were their first 3 games of the year. They didn't play their first home game until December. Played a little bit up and down during that portion of the time, but the Bulldogs since then really have kind of kicked it up a gear. And now we're going to see if Brooklyn, who had a good first quarter, can they keep it going in the second? You have to play a full 4 quarters against this Bearcats team. We'll see how the Bulldogs come out. As Baruch takes the opening possession, Ahmed tries to make a move inside, lays it up and in. Beautiful move by Samira Ahmed. She went around at least 2 Bulldogs and made a nice delayed layup.
She surprised me with how good she is driving to the basket.
Now it's Richburg. Bulldogs still keeping their bench in for the first part of this game. And again comes Jamat, got the friendly roll and in.
Too easy. Size mismatch, strength mismatch, just a quick turnaround, way too easy.
And again, the full court pressure, a mini one being applied. Jamat with 10 points and now comes away with the steal, but she stepped out of bounds.
Good hustle. Not every press can result in a turnover, but really good hustle, and you like what you see from the trap, which forced the errant pass. Just not enough room on that sideline.
Bulldogs making some subs, bringing back in Erica James, bringing back in Taylor George. So they're going back to their main starting crew. Snyder now. Millie Yee drives in. Yee again with a nice floater and in. So 2 consecutive baskets inside for the Bearcats. Bulldogs still lead 28-16. And now here's Erica James for 3. It's too strong, but Dasha Goodman right there to get the offensive board. And Jamat now will drop another play. The Bulldogs wisely taking time. Richburg for 3. Bang! Kaylin Richburg from downtown.
That's a warm-up jumper. She'll hit that every single time you don't put a hand up.
Yeah, Richburg used to do a lot of that in her day as a 3-point shooter. That shot from Dawson too strong, as the Bulldogs will come right back, and Jamat coming the other way. Inside, beautiful pass to Goodman, but could not get the friendly roll. Good move, good vision by Jamat to set up that basket for Dasha Goodman, just could not get the roll. But you like the ball movement and how the Bulldogs just continue to swarm on defense. Ahmed again almost got around a double team there, got it out to Yee. Yee driving in with another floater and good. So Baruch with 3 consecutive baskets, but not doing much to get inside the scoreboard. Bulldogs are still up 31-18.
It was a good defense, bad shot, and sometimes they go in. But Baruch, when they get into the paint, are scoring at will.
Ball almost went off the handle, but Taylor George found Jamat in the left post. Jamat puts it home, 8 points away from 1,000.
Wide open?
It's called creating a good diversion. Richburg to George. Oh, George got knocked down from behind. A foul is called. It will be against Baruch. 7:44 remaining. We'll check the foul. It'll be the first of the quarter for Baruch. It's going to be on Ahmed. It's going to be her first. Taylor George will go to the line as Kaylin Richburg will sub out. Back in will come Michelle Pena. I'll tell you, Joe, when Richburg is on, that's the type of spark plug player she is. First free throw is no good.
That's what we need her to be, too, on this team, is just somebody. And she did start for the beginning of this year, but to come in off the bench, that's what we need her to be right now.
That's just the type of player she is, just a great energizer. Free throw is good. That's the first free throw of the game made by Brooklyn. Taylor George knocks that down. Bulldogs up 34-18. And again, there's the full court pressure. You see, and a foul was called on Pena. I didn't see too much of a move there by Pena there to call a foul. That's going to be her second. 7:41 remaining. We'll have to now see what Coach Lang is going to think about doing. As Pena is now at 2 fouls, you do not want to pick up a third this early.
One frustration foul, and that one right there was ticky-tack.
Good pressure being applied by Spayu. Look at that move and in. Melinda Spayu, just good ball fake and moves inside of the right post and scored.
That's what I expect from her. She did a lot of that when we played them last year.
Jamat moves in on the drive, and they call an offensive foul on Chanel Jamat.
A little bit of a late whistle, but I'm not surprised. Bowled into her, and Dawson did sell that pretty well, but, I mean, they're going to call that 100 times out of 100.
It's a good screen applied, and now it'll be Baruch ball, 7:13 to go. That's the first foul on Jamat. And the ball is inbounded. Baruch will keep it going here. This is Spayu. Good pass to Yee down low and stolen. Try to do a bounce pass down low. And here comes Pena with it. Kicks it out. Erica James for three. In! Perfect shot by Erica James from downtown. Bulldogs go up 37-20.
Both James sisters are feeling it from three.
Right now, the Bulldogs just cooking on all cylinders right now. And another steal. Jamont forcing that. And there's George. No one to beat. George up and in. Bulldogs up 39-20. The Bulldog, that is at least the fifth fast break we've seen from the Bulldogs here tonight.
It's all pressure. It's all thanks to this press.
And again, here's Ahmed. Had to drop the shot, and a long jumper off the side rim is no good from Millie Yee. And Jamont lost the ball on the rebound, and it's taken back by Spayu.
You got to help her out there. I mean, you can't just, all four players can't just go on the fast break.
Well, too many Bulldogs were going ahead of the play a little bit. And lost the handle on it, did Ahmed, and diving for it was George. Great defensive move by Taylor George. Pena will set it up, gets it into Jamont, lays it up, count it, and a foul!
I believe they called a charge.
Did they call a charge? As Jamont went down after making that shot, they did count the basket, so it is a good shot. A foul is called. Jamont is 6 points away from 1,000 points.
No,
they did wave it off.
I was going to say you can't make a fist.
It looked like a minute. The scoreboard had said 41-20. It looked like it had counted. Well, I guess for Chanel, the path to 1,000 is not going to be the easiest path to get there tonight. 2 points taken away. It's Baruch ball as Jamont got called for her second foul.
Both on offensive charges. She has to be careful because she's more physical than everybody on this Baruch roster, and that to a point can be dangerous for you because you're just going to bowl over people.
And George, again, playing good defense on Snyder. Snyder made a few good moves to get away from George. Yee drives in, blocked by Jamont. The ball deflected out of bounds. It'll stay Baruch ball, but they only have 4 seconds to shoot. And we're going to have substitutions coming in for Brooklyn now as Sarah James and Sarah Labiner come back in along with Trembone. Pena, Dasha Goodman, and Jamont will take a seat. Chanel Jamont, remember, is 6 points away from 1,000 points. Nia Dawson gets a shot off, can't finish. Labiner got the rebound. Bulldogs did a great job taking away that shot from Dawson. As now Sarah James to Erica. Back to Sarah. And Taylor George now just drawing up the play. George with a nice little spin move there. Gets it off to Trembone. Got the shot in. Beautiful finish by Kayla Trembone. Bulldogs go up 41-20.
Back to this pressure.
Yep, this is what the Bulldogs have been doing the whole night. And again, that ball overthrown to Dawson. And right now, Joe, Baruch is shooting themselves in the foot with these turnovers.
Hey, pressure burst pipes, and you're going to make some unforced turnovers when you're expecting pressure, and there's a little bit of pressure just backed off.
And you give credit to the Bulldog defense. They have done a great job taking away those passing lanes, just taking away the Baruch Bearcats' ability to just move the ball. Down low to Labiner and in. Beautiful pass. Labiner just utilizing that 6'4" size and puts it home. Bulldogs up by 23.
I feel bad for everyone.
And another steal. It's taken by Taylor George. George into Trembone, lays it up and in. And a timeout is called by Baruch. And Joe, the Bearcats just have no answer for the Bulldogs offense here today.
It's not even well, it is kind of their offense, but their offense is their defense. I mean,
yeah.
We can't say, we sound like a broken record with this press. We can't say enough about it. And Baruch, I mean, they can't break this. They couldn't break it last year, and they can't break it tonight. They need to find an answer on how to break the Bulldogs' press. But what I was saying before was I feel bad for everyone who has to go up against Sarah Labiner on the to guard her, because there's not much you can do. You got to hope she misses. That's pretty much it. You got to hope and pray that she just misses the shot. Dawson, who is unequivocally their best player on offense, has had to guard both Jamont and Labiner in the low post. And I believe that's taking a lot out of her on the offensive end, having to go back on the other end and guard two behemoths and try to slow them down.
The Bulldogs have had a history of finding a big player on their team it seems like every year we've done these broadcasts. The beginning of our broadcast time, the Bulldogs had a 6'2" player named Tiffany Thompson. Was a great rebounding extraordinaire, just somebody who loved to have it down low in the post. And then you had Maya Aji Thomas, who was 6'3", was a big presence down low. And the more she played, she was some athlete as well. Just really incredible.
If there's any girl on your team that's over 6 foot, I mean, there's no stopping them.
Those are rare. It's rare to find those type of players.
Absolutely.
Very rare to find. And again, another steal. Brooklyn forcing that turnover as Sarah James off the timeout steals it. Inside to Labiner, lays it up, couldn't get it to go. Labiner got her own rebound and scores. I'm telling you, Sarah Labiner is making her presence known tonight.
She should just throw that ball off the backboard every single time, grab it, and put it back.
Just gets her own rebound. It's incredible. And another steal. My God, another fast break by George. Driving up, can't get it to fall. Getting the rebound, but a foul was called, a loose ball foul against Brooklyn. Try to getting that second rebound attempt. It's going to go against Trembone. It'll be her second. 3:48 to go in the second quarter. The fouls are the only difference right now. The Bulldogs have 4 fouls in this quarter, one more from being in the penalty.
2 of those are ticky-tack, and I don't agree with it. Swallow the whistle. Let them play.
Emily Rivera has checked into the game for Baruch, and another steal. It's taken away by George, and she loses it right back to Spayu. Back the other way comes Baruch. Excuse me, that was lost to Zerpolo. Lays it up, shot is no good, and we get another whistle foul. This time it will go against Baruch. That will be their second team foul with 3:34 remaining. It's going to go against Emily Rivera. That'll be her first. Bulldogs will make some subs. Megan Jage comes back into the game. Erica James will come out. Nancy Pham re-enters for Brooklyn. Right now, Coach Lang not hesitating to bring in his bench for the final minutes of this quarter. Why not?
Get your starters some rest. Get them Gatorade. Give them just a little extra time to recuperate and start the third quarter.
As the Bulldogs come back on offense here, Trembone had it stripped. Was trying to go for a pass. Good read by Zerpolo. Now Ahmed will slow things down, but good defense applied by Jage. As again, Spayu couldn't make a move, but a foul was called. I think Spayu may have gotten hit in the head a little bit moving into the net. We'll check the foul. It's on Sarah Labiner. It's going to be her first. 3:08 remaining here in the second quarter. And it will send Baruch, I believe, for their first time to the free throw line tonight.
Yes, this is their first and second free throw.
Spayu's free throw is good. Baruch trails 47-21.
There'll be 2 shots after this for every foul as well.
Yep.
They're in the bonus.
So the Bulldogs now in the bonus. The Bulldogs in the penalty. The Bearcats are in the bonus. Second free throw is good from Spayu. The lead is cut to 25. Bulldogs still, though, in very firm control. As now the Bulldogs just trying to make their move to the basket. And just trying to just take time off the clock. No need to rush. No need to throw up a bad shot. And this is what you want to do. You want to just keep the ball away from Baruch. Just keep moving it around. Labiner, utilizing that big size, drives into the basket, couldn't finish. Baruch got the rebound. Here comes Ahmed, driving it inside, and it's Zerpolo taking it back up to Spayu. Spayu looks for a move. Good defense applied by Trembone. And again, ball almost stripped, but kept alive. And you just like how, again, you see how the Bulldogs are not giving Baruch space. They're not getting off their guy. And Baruch now with 4 seconds. They got to hurry this shot. Spayu lost it out of bounds. Last touched by Baruch. It's Brooklyn ball. And Joe, you just love that 30-second possession, how they took away any moves Baruch was going to make.
I'm shocked about the lack of urgency now from Baruch. You're down big. You need to use Brooklyn's aggressiveness against them. You can't be wallowing in a shot clock and almost get a shot clock violation. You need to push the ball and put up points fast.
Well, the Bulldogs hounding Dijo has been a very big part of that. They're just not letting Baruch have any open space, and they're really making them rush and second-guess their shooting tonight. And again, the Bulldogs with just great ball movement, just continuing to distribute, move the ball around. And this is what a good team has to be able to do. Just force the opponent to second-guess what you're going to throw at them. Bulldogs have 4 to shoot, but again, using good use of the clock to burn it out. Jage will take a shot. It's no good. But you know what? A 30-second violation in that situation I will take. The Bulldogs burned off 30 seconds.
the Bulldogs want to do exactly the opposite of what Baruch wants to do right now, and they want to. If you're Baruch, score at will, at as fast as you can. If you're the Bulldogs on offense, go through your offense and take as much time. I wouldn't force up a shot unless there's 10 seconds or less on the shot clock.
Back into the game for Brooklyn comes Kalen Richburg, subbing out for Jage. And now the Bulldogs back on defense here in the final minute and a half of the quarter as Ahmed tries to make a move, and you see the Bulldogs again drawing that double team away. Bulldogs have done a very good job also on Nia Dawson. Takes a jump shot, it's no good, and the Bulldogs get the rebound. So the Bulldogs have done a very good job taking Nia Dawson out of the game.
She's been quiet for about a quarter and a half now.
And that's what you have to do. The Bulldogs need to take away their best player, and they've done that. Almost a travel. Goodman was able to stop her pivot foot for making that move. And now here's Sarah James kicking it out to Richburg. Richburg will take another three off the front board. No good. It was a good look, though, as we're under a minute to go here in the first half. And the ball is thrown away. That was intended for Zerpolo. As again, Baruch with the turnovers just continue to hurt themselves as they're trying to get their way back in. But the Bulldogs with a dominant 25-point lead in the final 50 seconds of this quarter.
I can understand defensive steals and just good defense making and forcing a turnover, but unforced turnovers like that are a killer, especially when you're down by over 20.
Shot there from Trembone was missed. Still about 7-second differential between the shot and game clock as Baruch will try to draw up a play, and the Bulldogs have just done a good job taking a lot of those out. Ahmed tries a three. It's no good. Bulldogs have about 20 seconds, can hold for the final shot if they choose. Richburg will drive it inside to Sarah James. They wave it off. An offensive foul is called. And, if I was the Bulldogs right there, Joe, you could have just run out the clock.
Hold the ball. I don't understand why they went that fast, and that's the third charge of the game by a Brooklyn College player, second of the quarter.
First foul on Sarah James. 8 seconds to go. Baruch can hold for the final shot as Dawson tries to make a move up top. Dawson kicks it inside, out to Yee for three. That's an air ball, no good, and that will do it for a very strong first half for the Brooklyn College Bulldogs as they hold off the Bearcats and lead 47-22. And I guess what we can really take away from this first half, Joe, the Bulldogs did not get off their player for the whole half.
No.
They were staying on their player, and I really don't think we've seen the Bulldogs stick to that type of a defense before since we've been here.
I have not seen, at least this year, that type of defensive intensity from the Lady Bulldogs at all. I mean, they were textbook in their fundamentals and forced a lot of steals. I'm interested to see what the actual total is. I mean, they might have broke the stats machine down there.
Who knows? We're going to be getting the stats momentarily as the later portion of this half goes on. We hope to also have an interview with the Bulldogs assistant coach, get their thoughts on the first half. But this has been, Joe, a very dominant half by Brooklyn College. Probably one of the more dominant halves we've seen in a long time.
The only thing that I would think of, if you could say they did poorly, was they fouled a lot.
Yes.
And that's the consistent throughout this year is the amount of fouls that this Lady Bulldogs team commits in trying to be aggressive. And I've said this about the Men Bulldogs team as well. There's a difference between being aggressive smartly and just being way too over-aggressive and sloppiness, being a little bit sloppy with the aggressiveness. And, I mean, the reach-in fouls and frustration, the reach-in fouls when you're trying to just be a little bit over-aggressive, they can come back and hurt you. And the Bulldogs are lucky this game isn't closer because with the amount of fouls that they've committed in the first half, that's the one thing that is a consistent issue in every single game that the Lady Bulldogs have played, and that's what I would be working on in the second half and moving forward is just playing aggressive defense, but hands-off aggressive defense.
Well, we'll definitely see what adjustments the Bulldogs will be making on that title for the second half of the year as we go. But we have now received the stats for the first half, and, well, taking a look at these, the Bulldogs are shooting over 51% from the field, 21 out of 41, which really does not surprise me. The Bulldogs were just making so many shots in transition, so many steals, open breakout points, just breakaway shots. Bulldogs, all right, went 1 for 3 from the free throw line. But look at the rebounding.
Yeah.
Baruch has been held to 0 offensive rebounds. I don't think we've, it seems like every other day another 0 pops up in some category when we've been calling these games, Joe.
I mean, it's not only that, it's 24-9 in the rebounding total.
It's incredible.
There's 13 steals to 4. Taylor George has 6 by herself. She has 7 and 6. Chanel Jamont, 12 points. She does have 4 turnovers. 2 of those are the 2 charges, but she has 2 steals herself.
Yeah.
And there's not much more you can say. Defensively, they are incredible. Incredible this game. And Baruch has only shot 1 3-pointer.
That's incredible.
1.
And they missed that 1 shot. So otherwise, if you look at it, Baruch's shooting is 41% altogether. So despite everything that the Bulldogs have thrown at them, Baruch is still shooting the ball decently, but the Bulldogs have not given him a lot of shots in the paint. They've had to force Baruch to take a lot of outside perimeter shots.
Well, Baruch hasn't been able to get the ball over half court. 13 steals. You're not getting the ball over the timeline. Yeah. And when they have got the ball over the timeline, they haven't played that bad.
You credit the full court pressure that was applied throughout that half by the Bulldogs. That was a very important factor.
That's
if you're Brooklyn. That's what you have to do.
That is the difference in the game. I mean, you could say about the dominance that Chanel Jamont had in the first half, but the key to this game was when we talked to the Bulldogs before the game was the pressure on the defensive end and not allowing Nia Dawson to beat them. Yeah. And so far,
4 points.
They haven't.
Nia Dawson's been held to 4 points
2
in
of 6
18
shooting,
minutes.
And 3 turnovers.
Yeah. You credit all that to the Bulldogs defense. Sarah Labiner has 8 points in 7 minutes, and more importantly, 8 rebounds to go with that as well. So Labiner closing in on a double-double. Can you imagine if Labiner becomes a double-double machine on this group? Oh, my goodness.
I didn't think she had 8 rebounds, to be honest with you.
Remember, she had at least 2 baskets she scored where she got her own rebound on each of them.
I'm really interested to see how she grows in her college career because, like I said earlier, the talent is there. There are, if you look at her game, there is talent there that is just untapped. I mean,
absolutely.
She needs to redefine. She needs to just fine-tool it and get her footwork. If she gets her footwork, that's all I would work on in the summer is footwork drills down by the block on both ends. Because if she gets that down, nobody in this conference is stopping her.
That's the great thing of having her as a freshman. That's what's so incredible about the talent that Labiner has. She's only going to get better the more she plays.
And I wouldn't put her on the three-point line. There's no need. There's absolutely no need.
But but now as an opponent, you know where Labiner's going to be. She's going to be in that post on the right side.
So what?
And utilizing that, utilizing that, and just utilizing her size and strength to her advantage. I mean, that's an incredible thing to have. And we're going to be seeing a lot more, I'm sure, of Sarah Labiner throughout this year and for the next 3 years she's a part of this program.
Looking forward to the second half, I mean, the one thing that I think is on everyone's mind in this gym right now is how can we get Chanel Jamont 8 more points and get her to 1,000.
Oh, I know Coach Lang. If anything, he's going to throw Jamont out there for the second half. He wants her to get that 20 tonight.
I know you want the win. That is so far looking like it's going to happen. And so far in the first half, looks like it's a foregone conclusion. If you're Baruch, what halftime adjustments can you make other than we need to find out a way to beat this full court press? That is problem number one and the only problem, if I'm concerned, from Baruch's side of this is just get the ball into the middle of the court and just go. I mean, that's how you beat a press, and they haven't been doing that.
I think the Bulldogs, and we talked about this at the very beginning, the Bulldogs had to take away a very important weapon from Baruch, and that was Nia Dawson. They had to prevent Dawson from really taking over the game, and one thing that Coach Soletto had mentioned was to take away her shooting on the right side because she's very dangerous going to the left. By taking the left away and making her go to her right, the Bulldogs were able to really create good defensive plays to steal away the ball, clog the passing lanes, and that's what you have to do against a good player. The defense not only has to play to their strength, but you have to play to that player's weakness and kind of get them off their game, and that's what the Bulldogs have been able to do for the first half. We'll see what adjustment they make in the second, but I will be I will not be surprised to see if the Bulldogs keep up the full court pressure that they've been doing for the first half as well.
If I'm Coach Lang, I am not letting off the gas pedal at all. And that's not his style. He doesn't. He pours it in. He's not one to ease off and run through some stuff. He pours it on and gives you all he has and empties the gas tank on every single night. And I mean, it's really from a Baruch perspective, can you make this a ball game? Because if not, it's going to be a long second half for you. And just draw up some plays to get Nia Dawson the ball in the front court, have her take the ball over half court and set up your offense.
All right, well, on that note, we're going to take a short little break for a couple minutes. We'll be right back. We'll have hopefully an interview with the head coach of the assistant coach of Brooklyn College, hopefully on the other side of this break. Stay with us, everybody.
Okay.
All right. I am here with assistant. Okay.
Sorry.
All right, it's okay. All right. I'm here with assistant coach Carrie Gehring. Carrie, a very impressive start to this game. Seeing a lot more of full court pressure, something we haven't seen the Bulldogs do a lot of all the time. Was that kind of the message going forward to start this game going up against Baruch?
We have been putting in this new press, and I think today we just wanted to be high pressure, and we're trying to be more high pressure and intense on defense. And so we thought that using this high pressure and intense defense would definitely pick up our defensive intensity. So I think it's been working so far, and even when we're making little mistakes, the girls are hustling, so it's been making up for like a little rotation mistakes that they've been making.
We've been seeing really kind of the start of a breakout soon for Sarah Labiner. Really now kind of seeing her play a lot more minutes, and we're really beginning to see the type of player she could one day become. Just that big presence in the paint, and just the ability to just frustrate teams and just draw a lot of defenders to her.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the impact Labiner is making in the short amount of time.
I mean, her size, just in general, is such an advantage for her and for us as a team. So we've just been really working with her on her footwork, and that's really been a lot of, like, Rocco's been working with her a lot on footwork and just getting the ball in the post and, like, being strong, keeping the ball high, because she is so tall. It's such an advantage. Once she brings it low, she's, helping out the defense. So getting the ball, be strong, they keep it high and just go right up, and she's doing a much better job of that, and she's rebounding so well. So she's just been doing a lot better recently, so we've been trying to throw her in, and every time she's been thrown into the game, she's kind of stepped up to the challenge. So
Definitely. You guys have taken also Baruch's top scorer, Nia Dawson, out of the mix for the first half, holding her to 4 points. What's your strategy going into the second half, defending against her and the rest of the Bearcats?
Yeah, so we put Erica on her, and we had Nancy coming off the bench guarding her. We thought putting a long defender on her would be harder for her, because she is a taller, more athletic player. So having a player that has length on her, she does beat them. They had the length to make up for it. So we think that has been like a bother to her. And our on-ball pressure defense has been so good right now that they've even struggled getting passes out. So that's definitely been something that's been helping us out too.
All right. We'll see how it goes for the second half. Coach Gehring, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks.
All right, let's bring Joe Leo back onto the microphone here with me. And Joe, some very good points brought up there by Coach Gehring. Really talking about Labiner, the type of player she could become, and she's been working out with Coach Stiletto, really improving that post presence. And I think we're going to begin to start seeing a lot more of that going forward. The type of player she's becoming is slowly beginning to happen in front of us right now.
We're seeing it on a game-to-game basis. From where she was at the start of the season to where she is now, she's night and day a better player. And it's only going to get better. She's only going to get better the more game reps she gets. And I'm not shocked at all that they're saying we're working on her footwork. We're trying to get her to not bring the ball down and just attack with her size.
Coach Gehring also brought up that this is a new press that we're seeing the Bulldogs do. So this full court press is a new system that they've implemented into their team. Well, and I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of this type of press going forward if the Bulldogs can do this on a consistent basis.
Baruch didn't stop the old press, and they're not stopping the new press either. So let's see how well they can adjust to the pressure and how Dawson can adjust to the length that the Bulldogs have been offering her in the first half.
And now we begin the second half as Michelle Pena, as now we turn on to the on-court action. So Pena has possession of the ball, and now the Bulldogs will be moving from right to left. Jamont moving in with the layup, got the friendly rolling in. So Chanel Jamont making an early impact to start the quarter. 14 points now. Chanel Jamont is 6 away from 1,000, and there, the full court pressure once again being applied by the Bulldogs. And you see the frustration Baruch is having to try to move the ball up the court. The Bulldogs are going to make Baruch earn every inch of that court from end to end.
They're not getting the ball. The first pass is always to the sideline, and you're just aiding Brooklyn College by doing that.
And right now, Baruch has not been able to pick up this press. A foul, though, was called on that last possession. It was against Pena. That's her third foul. So the Bulldogs have to be very careful. Pena does not pick up another one here. Already in early foul trouble. But here come the Bearcats now. And they've changed up their starting lineup a little bit as well. Millie Yee is in there. And a good block on defense by the Bulldogs to get that steal. And now here they come the other way. And here's Jamont trying to make a move. And now the Bulldogs just trying to take some time off the clock, which is wise. Want to run the clock down and have Baruch just make Baruch in there. And now here comes Jamont. Little floater and in. Jamont puts it home again. 4 points away is Chanel Jamont. It says 18, but I believe it should be 16.
Dawson cannot stop Jamont on the low block. There's nothing Dawson can do to stop her.
And there's another steal. Here might be the Bulldogs' chance. Jamont. We'll see if Jamont gets this possession, but Pena now kicks it out to Sarah James. Back to Pena. And right now the Bulldogs coming out strong to start the second half on an early 4-0 run. Bulldogs just methodically taking down every single move on Baruch. And there's another good. A missed shot, but got the rebound. Jamaat lays up the shot and in. Jamaat puts it home, 2 points away from 1,000 points. It's now 53-22 as the Bearcats come in, and the ball was lost. Spayu tried to get it to Ahmed, lost it off her hands out of bounds. And you again, Joe, are seeing the frustrating defense the Bulldogs are playing against the Bearcats, just frustrating them at every turn.
They can't get a clean possession. Baruch cannot get a clean possession at all, no matter what they do. And it's shocking almost.
It really is. I mean, you know what this kind of almost reminds me of? This reminds me a bit of Amherst's defense a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Amherst played a very similar type of tight defense that they force you to go in. Pena will take a long three. That shot is no good, rebounded by Baruch. It's going to be Spayu with a long pass and almost lost by Yee. And lost off her hands. Jamaat just did not give up on the play. Yee turns it over. Brooklyn College gets possession.
Looking at this Baruch bench, it's monotone. It looks like a funeral is going on right now.
Right now what you're seeing looks like a very defeated team on the bench
yes.
right now. It's not something that Baruch has been used to this year. The Bulldogs have just come in here and played a dominant brand of basketball here tonight. Jamaat was drawing that double team, gets it back. Jamaat tries to make a move inside, got the layup and in! And there it is! 1,000 points for Chanel Jamaat! As everyone on the bench is swarming Chanel Jamaat. And an incredible accomplishment in just her junior year, as she will get a rousing applause from the West Quad Gymnasium. Bulldogs go up 55-22. Jamaat becomes the eighth player all time in women's history to reach 1,000 points. This whole crowd was waiting for when Chanel Jamaat was going to reach that mark, and she did it here with 7:06 to play in the third. And this is just an incredible run for this young lady out of LMG High School in Brooklyn, New York. The whole team will gather together for a nice, very nice portrait, just a nice picture with the whole team. It's a rare accomplishment, and it's an incredible thing to reach this mark, Joe.
The fact that we've seen 2,000-point scorers in 2 years.
Yeah.
And Ali Mugen and how dominant she was last year. And Jamaat just continuing that trend this year. Since she stepped on the floor at Brooklyn College, she has been a dominant player. And my favorite thing about that was how the bench reacted to her getting that 1,000-point.
You see how important of a player Jamaat is on this team. You see how all the players gravitate towards her. That's leading by example.
Yeah, it 100% is.
That's just such
100%.
an important quality to have, to lead by example like that. And congratulations to Chanel Jamaat. And now the Bulldogs have to do their next order of business, and that's complete this game, as Jamaat gets called for that foul on the shot by Dawson. So Dawson goes to the line for 2 shots. So Jamaat picks up her third foul with 6:56 remaining. So Bulldogs now have to play it a little carefully that Jamaat does not pick up another foul. Dawson will take the free throw, and it's good. Baruch is 3 out of 3 at the line tonight. Second free throw coming for Dawson. She lines up her shot and knocks down a pair. So 4 out of 4 at the line are the Bearcats, as Brooklyn will come away with the ball now.
A little bit of a taste of their own medicine. Baruch is now pressing.
And here comes Brooklyn, though. They're able to get around that press. George for 3 and a score. Taylor George from downtown. Brooklyn College up 34.
Taylor George just came to play tonight.
She definitely has. Dawson will kick it back out to Snyder. Snyder will take a long 3, and she scores. Right back come the Bearcats with a 3. And it's 58-20. It's now 60-24. And that ball was overthrown a little too high from Pena to Taylor George. And very soon, Joe, Taylor George will be the next player on the Bulldogs to reach 1,000. Not too far away.
She over 900?
Getting close. Getting close to that mark. We'll check the point total at a later time, but, we'll get the heads up. But right now, back to the action as Spyu will hand it off to Dawson. Yee back up top to Snyder. And again, you see so many shots. Snyder takes that jumper. It's no good. Bulldogs will wisely let it go out of bounds. You've noticed how Baruch has maybe taken 2-3 passes, then shoot.
Yeah.
Bulldogs do about 4 or 5 passes and then shoot.
You're down 30 points. You have to do stuff like that. And you have to do stuff like this and force Brooklyn into pressure situations and into turnovers.
Here's a long 3 for George. That's a little too strong. Baruch will rebound.
They got to go. I mean, you have no other choice but to get quick shots, and I'm shocked that they're not shooting more threes.
Well, the Bulldogs have also, I think, done a very good job taking that out of their game as well.
There's only 2 threes, and they're 1 for 2.
As now the Bulldogs move in. As Yee will take a bad shot off the side. It's rebounded by Jamat. And here come the Bulldogs the other way. And almost a long, quick pass, and we get a whistle. And they're going to call an offensive foul against Erica James. So the offensive fouls have been on the up and up this whole game, Joe, for Brooklyn College.
And Coach Lang is not happy at all about that foul call. It looked like a just regular swing pass, but
I get that Baruch is not a very big team. It's kind of an undersized team, but there has to be a certain point where not every time they get knocked down, it's an automatic offensive charge.
No.
But as we get back to the action here now, as Spyu makes her move inside. Good move, but a block by Jamat, staying with her all the way. It'll stay Baruch ball. They'll have 12 to shoot. Bulldogs are now going to make some substitutions. Pena's going to come out. In will come Trembone. Out will come Sarah James. In will come Pham. Out will come Erica James. In will come Dasha Goodman. Out will come Jamat. In will come Sarah Labiner. So the Bulldogs are going to sub out most of their crew, leaving only Taylor George on the court.
This might be Labiner's half now that Jamat has got those 1,000 points.
Yeah, I won't be surprised if Coach Lang decides to kind of just let Jamat take most of this game and just rest it up with the lead the Bulldogs have. Here's a long 3 and a score. First 3 of the game by Spyu, knocking that down, and the Bearcats trail 58-29.
It was a beautiful rainbow. Not many of those go down.
Well, Allie Mugen was one of the best at that type of shot. And Labiner moves in, tries a layup, no good. Gets her own rebound, no good, but a foul is called. And that's just great work by Labiner drawing that foul, and will go to the line for 2 shots. Spyu gets called for her second foul, first team foul on Baruch. And 2 free throws coming up for Labiner. Shot is up, and it is no good. Bulldogs are 1 out of 4 at the line.
I mean, if you're Melinda Spyu, what more can you do?
Well, that's the type of player that
Labiner has
Labiner
a
is.
foot on you.
Labiner's second shot is a little too strong. Ball was deflected out of bounds. We'll see who it is. It's Baruch ball. 4:23 remaining here in the third quarter.
I mean, you could box out her all you want, but I mean, she's just going to grab the ball from the top of your head.
And the ball is stolen right off the inbound pass. Taylor George will slow it down now. Bulldogs just have been really good at reading Baruch's inbound passing throughout this whole game. Here's Labiner. And again, the ball movement there. Trembone. Back to Labiner. Back to George. George makes a nice nifty move, and they call a double dribble against Brooklyn College. An offensive 3-second violation with 4:07 to play.
It's one thing you have to be careful about if you're Sarah Labiner is I know you want to get the ball in the low post, but you have to move with the ball and make sure that your foot gets out. Both feet get out of the paint at least once when you're trying to move over.
And there again is that hounding full court pressure by Brooklyn as they get it out to Snyder. Almost handcuffed Dawson with the ball there. Dawson, excuse me. Now it's Dawson with it, driving in, and again the Bulldogs with the block. Here comes Taylor George. And here come the Bulldogs once again. Pham will drive it inside. The ball was deflected. It went off the hands last touched by Spyu. Pass was intended for Labiner, and you see the Bulldogs are doing a good job feeding Labiner the ball. They want to get that big presence into the net.
That's excellent defense, though, by Spyu, and that's I think what you have to do is you got to front her to make it tough for the entry pass.
Bulldogs going now with their full bench now. George will take a seat. In will come Kaylin Richburg. And now Richburg drives that in. It went off the hands of Millie Yee. Stays Brooklyn ball. They'll have 17 to shoot with 3:37 to play. Looking for some space is Trembone. And here is Richburg. As the Bulldogs just, again, taking time off the clock, forcing the mistakes. And there's Labiner with a turnaround shot and in. Sarah Labiner again utilizing that big size. We get a whistle. Foul is called. I believe they're going to call this on Dasha Goodman for a late hit. We'll take a look at it. It's on Richburg, so Richburg got called for her first. And again, the Bulldogs at 4 fouls in the third quarter with just 1 for Baruch. But the Bulldogs lead 60-29. Labiner now with 10 points.
She's still at 8 rebounds, too.
Yeah, still playing a very dominant game and closing in on a double-double. That shot is off the rim, no good from Spayu. And Brooklyn now will come the other way as Trembone kind of threw that shot up, no good.
I believe as well, Baruch has yet to grab an offensive rebound in this game.
Yeah. Here's a long three and a score. So two threes now. Millie Yee knocked that down as the Bearcats now trail 60-32. Still down by 28. 2:38 to play in the third quarter.
If more threes can go down.
Richburg on the drive. Beautiful pass and beautiful one-handed scoop by Richburg. Bulldogs go up by 30.
If Baruch can continue to knock down 3-point shots, this 30-point lead will dwindle quickly.
Well, Baruch is can be very dangerous when they hit those 3-point shots. Loss as Dawson thought about a three, didn't take it. Snyder now moves in. Out to number 12. That was Val Mitchie. She could not knock it down. Brooklyn College ball. 2:06 to go. Substitution now coming in for the Bearcats. It's going to be Caitlin Rivera. She'll replace Spayu. She'll take a seat. 2:06 to play in the third. Bulldogs up 62-32. Baruch now applying full court pressure as Richburg gets right around it with ease and gets it out to Trembone. Bulldogs just taking a methodical pace. We get a whistle. I believe a foul was called on Baruch. It is their second foul with 1:53 to go. Caitlin Rivera gets called for the foul. It's going to be her second with 1:53 to play. Richburg set to inbound, and we'll give it off to Trembone. Now to Goodman. Driving inside Labiner. And Trembone for three. Off the front rim, no good. Labiner gets the rebound, and they're going to call a foul on Labiner.
There's the over the back. You got to be careful. If they've got position on you, majority of the time they're going to call the push, or as it's more widely known as the over the back foul, and Baruch will be in the bonus for the rest of the quarter.
So that's the second foul on Labiner. And now Spayu is going to come back in replacing Francis Snyder.
It was a quick sit.
As 2 free throws are now coming up for, 2 free throws coming for Caitlin Rivera. First shot is up, and it is no good. So that's the first missed free throw of the game for Baruch. They were 4 of 4 at the line. Second free throw coming up. Shot is up, and that's knocked down by Rivera. Bulldogs lead 62-33 with 1:43 to play. Pham to Labiner. Labiner was that time Labiner got fouled as she was attempting the shot. We'll check the foul with 1:30 to go. And they're going to call it on Rivera again. That's going to be her third. So Rivera picks up her third foul. And remember now, Joe, this Baruch team only has 9 players.
Yeah, you can't afford any sort of foul trouble when you got a squad that is as thin as 9, no matter who you are.
Another free throw at the line missed by Labiner. The free throw shooting is still going to be the element of her game that has to come around. That one is knocked down by Labiner. So that gives Labiner 11 points, her first made free throw. Bulldogs up 30. Timeout has been called with 1:30 to play. So Labiner has made her presence known with 11 points in this game. And you definitely like what you're seeing, the evolution of Sarah Labiner continuing to really blossom here before our eyes, Joe.
Yeah, and the free throw shooting will always be a constant. I mean, that's regardless of if you're 5'2" or 6'4", free throws are always going to be an issue. But I really like her game. And again, we're beating a dead horse here, but when she gets the constitutes of just bearings of on the low block of where she is and what to do, and realizing that, hey, if I do this and no one's going to be able to stop me, I could put up 30 a game, and it's not even going to be that hard.
We're back to the action now here as Baruch will inbound. And again, you see the Bulldogs just not getting off their player. That's been the defense they have played all night long. Almost stolen by Trembone. And again, you see the pressure. Dawson had to hurry that pass. Takes a jump shot, no good. And there's Labiner with the rebound. That is her 9th. So one more rebound will give her a double-double tonight.
I believe that would be her 2nd double-double of the season as well for Labiner.
As now the Bulldogs, with under a minute, are going to just let time come off this clock. Bulldogs with a 30-point lead, so they've continued to widen the gap since the second quarter. 6 seconds to shoot. We get a offensive 3 seconds called against Brooklyn College.
Labiner again camped in the lane, but Baruch got bailed out. They're sitting at the free throw line, just allowing Brooklyn College to take time off the clock. They need to be up in their face.
Well, the Bulldogs still have the lead right now with 33 seconds. And we get a whistle. Offensive foul is called on Baruch, so that'll be Brooklyn ball. That's going to be the 4th against Baruch. One more from being in the penalty. We'll check the foul.
Mitchie just extended the guard hand there, and that's why they called the foul.
And Kaylin Rivera has just picked up her 4th foul.
Oh, they called it on Rivera? I thought they called it on Val Mitchie for extending her guard hand.
No, they called it on Rivera, and that's one more foul, and she's out of the game. And Baruch will more importantly be one player down out of the 9 they have left. Here's Richburg now moving it inside, kicking it out. Pham had the ball but lost it off her hands. As Baruch now can hold for the final shot with 12 seconds. And with 9 seconds, Dawson drives in, fires up a shot, no good, and a foul is called. We'll check the foul. It's on Brooklyn, so that puts them over the limit. And it's on Labiner. That is her 3rd. So Jamad is playing with 3 fouls. Now Labiner's playing with 3 with 6.5 seconds to play. Dawson will take the free throw, and it's good. Her first points of this quarter for Dawson.
It's an off night for her, which to everyone who's came to this game, it's sort of a sight that you don't want to see.
Missed free throw there from Dawson. The Bulldogs can hurry a shot up here if they hurry. Richburg will take it and score as time expired. Kaylin Richburg with a beautiful shot off the backboard and in, and the Bulldogs close out the half with a nice finish and go up 65-34. And Joe, when the ball's falling your way, it's falling your way.
That was Kaylin Richburg, just too much speed and feather touch as she banked it on off the backboard.
That's the type of shooter Richburg has been her whole career. That type of great touch shooter and just great and just natural athleticism for that's a rare bit of a package to have for that type of player. And Kaylin Richburg, again, just with a nice finish to the quarter, and you just have to like the way the whole Bulldogs crew has come out playing this type of team basketball. And I'm going to tell you this now, if the Bulldogs can implement this type of system successfully the year, I think they're putting all the other teams on notice.
They're going to be a tough.
Oh, without a doubt.
But Nia Dawson is also, she's off tonight. And it's a bummer for everybody who's come out and for everyone who's currently watching as well, who's not here. You want to see a player like that, of her caliber, just be on her game every night if you can. And she's actually seen human for the first time this year. Since the turn of the calendar, she has been otherworldly in the way that she's been playing. And it's all been against CUNYAC opponents, too.
It really has. The Bulldogs have done just a great job taking away all of Baruch's strengths tonight.
She's only got 6 points.
Yeah.
And she's missed a lot of shots.
We now have been handed the third quarter stats.
Yeah, she's 2 of 9.
Yep, we'll read them in their entirety in a little bit. But right now we're back to the action here as Dawson moves in. Out to Caitlin Rivera. So they are playing Caitlin Rivera, who has 4 fouls in this game. Mitchie hands it off to Spayu. Back to Dawson. Dawson will fire for 3. Air ball. It's no good off the rim, and Taylor George rebounds. Bulldogs have Chanel Jamont back in there along with Taylor George. Jage's in there along with Goodman. Long 3. Air ball as the Bearcats will come the other way. Spayu tries to make her move on George. George did a good job staying with her as Mitchie will hand it off to Dawson. Richburg almost took away the ball. Dawson will take a jumper off the side rim, no good. It's Jamont with the rebound. Jage with a jump shot and a score for Megan Jage. First points of the game for her. Jage was coming off that impressive performance against Lehman last week.
One more rebound for Chanel Jamont, and she has another double-double.
Wow. And if Labiner gets one more, she has a double-double as well. I don't think we've had that, 2 players with double-doubles.
She does. She currently has a double-double.
Oh, she does, okay. So
11 and 10.
I don't think we've seen that, 2 players with double-doubles in one game.
We might see 3 if Taylor George can get a few more steals.
That will be pretty good to see. We get a whistle and a turnover as Brooklyn College will get possession. Ardita Shaptofovic is now checking into the game, replacing Dasha Goodman. And going to the bench for Baruch is going to be Dawson. So Dawson will sit with 8:42 left. Bulldogs up 67-34 as now Richburg will take possession for Brooklyn. And Richburg with good ball distribution. Got it inside to Shaptofovic. Jamont was stripped of the ball going into the basket, but deflected out of bounds. It'll stay Brooklyn ball. But you see, Joe, what Jamont is able to bring when she's out there. She draws so many defenders to her, and it creates so much space for the other players on the team. Jage took a long 3. It's no good. Great save by Jamont, but threw it right to Rivera. But you love the effort, Jamont not giving up on the play.
It's hustle like that why she's the best player on this team and the team leader. I mean, they're up 30 points, and she's diving for loose balls.
That ball was almost thrown away. Somehow Baruch was able to gather it in. Spayu gets it inside to Mitchie. And now to Snyder. And again, the Bulldogs with their Spayu just wide open. That was one of the few missed assignments the Bulldogs have had tonight. Spayu was wide open on the right post to put that easy layup in. Spayu with 9 points. Bulldogs up 67-36 with 7:43 to play.
I also think Brooklyn College has not played any man-to-man defense at all in this game. It's all been zone or
Here's
press.
Jage for 3 and a score. Megan Jage from downtown. And now Jage is stepping up her game. 70-36, 5 points off the bench for Megan Jage. Snyder with a layup. It's no good. Jamont gets the rebound. That should give her the double-double.
Correct.
So now the Bulldogs have 2 players with double-doubles tonight. Here's a long 3 from Shaptofovic, and it's good. When you're hot, you're hot.
If Brooklyn College gets play from their bench like this all year, there's no doubt in my mind that they're going to be hoisting up the CUNYAC Conference Championship trophy at the end of the year.
What's really great is the Bulldogs, really, if you look at them, they really have 2 captains on this team, if you really have noticed it before your eyes here. You have Jamont, who's like the captain of the starting crew, and Richburg is like a captain of the bench crew.
Yeah, I mean,
can you imagine just like how great of a quality that is to have that on your team?
I think there's a reason for that too, because Kaylin Richburg has been a starter this year. She has had her fair share of starting roles, and since the injury, she's taken on this bench role. I don't think she's going to be on the bench for long if she keeps playing like this.
I got the stats. Just want to read them quickly for the third quarter. Obviously now it's been updated, but the Bulldogs for the third quarter and for the game are out-shooting Baruch, out-shooting them 52% to 36. The free throws have been the only little issue, but the Bulldogs have 34 rebounds, and finally in the third quarter, Baruch finally got their first 2 offensive rebounds.
34-15 in the rebound advantage, and 23 turnovers for Baruch compared to 15 for Brooklyn College. That is the difference in the game right there.
You just have to love it. It really is just a great team effort by these Brooklyn College Bulldogs tonight, and just the way they've been moving the ball around. Here's a 3 for Snyder. It's no good. Jage the rebound. And the Bulldogs are can just methodically knock down minutes off this clock. The clock now is at 6:37 to play in the game. Bulldogs up 73-36.
This is the time in the game where you play your bench, see what you have
Yeah.
for later down the road. And if you get minutes out of Jaji and Nancy Pham, who have been two of the players recently who have stepped up off the bench, I mean, if you can go 9 deep into the playoffs and into the NCAAs, that will only help you. And just a testament to the coaching of this coaching staff for Brooklyn College.
Shot there was no good from Zerpolo. Emmy Cameron, who checked into the game for the first time, got the rebound. And we get a whistle, and Dawson stepped out of bounds. Got a little too anxious on that steal. And again, these are some of the mistakes that have just been hurting Baruch tonight. Even when the Bulldogs have not always played that full court pressure, the Bearcats have just been shooting themselves in the foot.
I don't think that's a mistake. I mean, that's just over-hustling, and you love to see that because Nia Dawson has not sat at all during this game. She is putting everything she has on the floor, and even if it is just a bad night offensively for her, defensively, she's giving everything you got. And, I mean, I feel bad for her because for a majority of the game, she had the guard Chanel Jamont, or majority of the first half, she had to guard Chanel Jamont down on the block, which is not an easy assignment whatsoever. So to see the effort in a fourth quarter blowout is exactly what you want to see from a player like her.
With the exception of Nancy Pham and now Emmy Cameron in the game, every Bulldog except those two have scored. I'm sure the Bulldogs are going to try to get everybody involved in this game as much as they can. And now we see Shaptofovic kicking it out to Pham. And Pham just doing a good job drawing that double team, drawing that defense toward her. Emmy Cameron with a nice pass up top, and here's a little jump, and could not get the roll. Emmy Cameron got the rebound, and she is fouled. Should be in the act of shooting, and that would send Emmy Cameron to the line. Yep, the foul is called on Zerpolo, her first foul. And we're going to see Ritchie come back into the game, replacing Zerpolo, as Emmy Cameron will go to the line for 2 shots. The Bulldogs have only taken 7 free throws tonight, but are 2 of 7 from the stripe.
Zerpolo's body language, to me, seemed like she didn't foul her. I mean, she got called for it, and she immediately slouched her shoulders and put her head down. I mean, she's like, are you kidding me? What more can I do? And you're going to call that. It looked clean.
It's just been that type of game for Baruch tonight. Second free throw for Cameron is up, and it is no good. A little too strong on that shot. As the Bulldogs try to fight for the rebound, and now they're going to call a foul. I believe they're going to hit Nancy Pham for this one, and it is going to be against Pham.
That's surprising that they didn't call a jump ball.
We haven't had a jump ball in this game today. You notice that?
Yeah. There's not been a change of the possession era whatsoever. I'm not knocking Nancy Pham for that hustle there.
No. You like the hustle. You like when the whole Bulldogs team continues
hustling
to play. That's something you love to see. Here comes Ritchie driving in with the layup. Shot is no good. Rebounded by Emmy Cameron, handing it off to Pena. Got it to Jaje. Almost lost it, but kept it alive. And now the Bulldogs just setting it up again. So Pena, the only starter, still in there for Brooklyn. As Cameron tries to make a move inside, took a shot, no good. But back to the line will go Emmy Cameron. Like the way Emmy Cameron plays off the bench as well. Just has a good presence about her. Foul's going to be called on Millie Yee. That's her first. Spayu and Dawson now are going to come off for the Bearcats.
First time Dawson is heading towards the bench tonight.
First free throw from Cameron is no good. So Cameron is 0 of 3 at the line so far.
She's a very unorthodox free throw shot.
Well, there have been a lot of different free throw shooters in the entire history of basketball, and everyone has their own style that works for them.
Hey, if it goes in, it doesn't matter.
Shaptofovic tried to get a rebound, no good. Cameron fought for that rebound. Pena, though, the third time the charm. Michelle Pena puts it in.
She just got an easy gift. I mean, the ball just fell in her lap.
Bulldogs up 75-36, 4:43 to play. Snyder tries to move inside, layup, count it, plus a foul.
Beautiful move.
Francis Snyder with a nice move to the net.
By Francis Snyder.
Foul's going to go against, we'll check the foul on Brooklyn. It's going to be against Pena. That's her 4th foul. And Pena's now going to take a seat.
I think she's done for the rest of the game. There's no reason to risk fouling her out with just over 4.5 minutes to go in this game.
So Pena will sit down. Trembone comes back into the game for Brooklyn.
Snyder's played well, too. I like the fight that she's given this Baruch Bearcats offense in a game that has not gone their way to this point.
Just give credit to the Bulldogs taking away Baruch's pressure offense early. Goodman tried a long three, could not get that to fall. Almost saved it from going out of bounds was Trembone, but it was out of bounds. It'll be Baruch ball, 4:16 to play. Bulldogs up comfortably, 75-39. As Snyder brings it up the court, right wing to Ritchie. Top for Yee. And now Yee back to Snyder from the right post. And again, Snyder, oh, beautiful turnaround layup from behind, a reverse layup by Francis Snyder.
I think Baruch's found an extra player tonight. I think they got three women that could put up some points and can lead this team.
We get a whistle. A foul is called. Baruch was reaching in as Pham was going into the basket. We'll see if that'll be free throws. I believe it will. Yep, it'll be an inbound. No free throws. Foul's called against Ritchie. That's against Yee. That's her second. 3:42 left to play. Bulldogs will inbound. That's the third team foul on Baruch. Inbounding it to Pham. Pham kicking it out to Jage. Jage takes a long shot. It's no good. Cameron fought for that rebound but couldn't quite secure it. Snyder comes the other way. Zerpolo to Snyder. Snyder will take another three. Air ball. It was off the side rim. No good. Rebound taken by Brooklyn.
She's fearless.
You got to respect that. You definitely have to respect that. As Pham went into the basket, a foul is called on Baruch. That is their fourth team foul.
I don't want to play this team in a couple of months when they got their things figured out with Dawson, Spyu, and Francis Snyder.
You can definitely attribute this to an off night. It happens to a lot of great teams. But this is a challenge that Brooklyn has presented to Baruch. Jage for three. Could not get it to fall. Cameron with the rebound. Nice rebound by Emmy Cameron. As Trembone drove in, the shot was blocked on the way to the basket. Great block by Baruch.
Great hands.
Under 3 minutes, though, to play. Snyder. Long three attempt by Millie Yee is no good. And Brooklyn College comes the other way with 2:45 remaining in the game. Brooklyn College up 75-41. And now it's Pham to Jage. Shaptofovic with a little jumper off the rim, no good. Emmy Cameron trying to fight for the rebound, but it's secured by Rivera. As time continues to tick off the clock for Brooklyn, as Brooklyn College is closing in and possibly looking to go to 9-5 on the season.
More importantly,
undefeated in CUNYAC play.
Continue to be undefeated in CUNYAC play.
Snyder got that layup to fall. It's 75-43. So that's 11 points in this game for Francis Snyder. Jage will fire for three. Goes off the front rim, no good.
I think she's approaching her season high, if I'm not mistaken.
Driving inside is Ritchie. Got the friendly rolling in as a timeout is called by Baruch with under 2 minutes to go. Bulldogs leading 75-45 as the Bulldogs have just continued this dominant run tonight as they have been able to shut down the very mighty Baruch Bearcats here tonight.
One thing that's continued to stand pat this year is when opponents have gone in, have came into the West Quad, it's been their kryptonite.
We'll definitely see how this, well, forget my point just a minute ago. Under a minute 50 to go, I was going to go off with something completely off topic. Richburg to Trembone. Bulldogs just taking time off the clock. It's all they need to do. And, well, that's our first jump ball of the game.
That might be a record. The first change of possession with 1:41 to go in the fourth quarter.
Possession will go to Brooklyn College. Minute 41 to play. Well, we finally seen it all tonight. We hadn't seen a jump ball all game. Now we do. Jage will fire for three and a score. Capping off another great night for Jage. 78-45. 8 points off the bench for Megan Jage. A minute 25 remaining.
we're seeing this Brooklyn College team blossom as a whole right in front of our eyes the past 2 times that we've played here at the West Quad.
Rivera takes a jumper. It's no good. Cameron rebounds. As the Bulldogs now are just methodically going to take time off. They don't need to rush a play. And Richburg wisely is doing just that. We'll pass it off to Jajay. Won't need to do too much. Richburg just letting the time melt off the clock.
I would be extremely sportsmanlike, and in football when you take a delay a game just to be sportsmanlike, that's what I would do right here.
Well, we don't have taking knees in basketball. You got to play till the game is over. Shot up the top was no good. As Emmy Cameron stepped out of bounds on the rebound.
It's a late call. Doesn't look like she did from up here, but again, that's why we're up here and why the officials are down there.
Still 40.7 seconds. Bulldogs are up 78-45. Rivera will inbound. As Snyder takes a little jump and puts it in. So Frances Snyder capping off a very good night for her. 13 points in this game for Baruch for Snyder.
She's been the lone bright spot for this team.
Well, the Bulldogs have done a very good job taking Dawson out of this game, and that's going to allow the Bulldogs to come away with a big win here tonight, and a very big statement win. As Emmy Cameron threw up a shot, no good. Labiner tried to get it home, and now they're going to call Cameron for a foul. A reach-in foul with 11.7 seconds.
That's a foul if you're a head coach that it breaks your back. There's no reason for that whatsoever.
Coach Lang's talking about it with Emmy Cameron on the sidelines there. Cameron certainly, though, has an incredible ability to rebound the ball. That's a great talent she has, and definitely will be hoping to see more of that the rest of the year. Here's a long three. It's no good. Labiner will get the rebound. We'll pass it off to Trembone, and that is going to do it. The Brooklyn College Bulldogs knock off the almighty Baruch Bearcats 78-47. And, Joe, just an incredible win for this Brooklyn College crew. They played a new style of full-court pressure, and they were just able to frustrate the Bearcats here tonight.
This team just keeps getting stronger and stronger as the year goes on. And I said it a little bit before. We're seeing this team blossom into the full potential of what they possibly can be. And I think they're 9 or 10 deep on the bench. And that, for any basketball team, is an incredible feat to have that deep of a bench that you can turn to not only in blowouts, but in close games if a star player in your starting lineup is in foul trouble, that you could turn to the bench and say, hey, you know what, Megan Jaji, can you pick up the load for 5 minutes while Pena's on the bench in foul trouble? Sure, I can knock down a couple of threes and knock some minutes off and be productive to this team. There is not a player on this roster that is not a productive player in a win. Everyone contributes.
Yeah. And that's what you love about this group. You just love that these players are able to buy into this system. They're able to buy into the way Coach Lang wants them to play, and to see the fruits of those labors pay off in front of us here. It's tremendous. The Bulldogs had to make a statement tonight. They were playing a very tough Baruch team. That's 10-3 on the year. And the Bulldogs had to take it to Baruch early. If they were going to have a chance, they had to take the pressure off early and get off to a strong start, and they did.
I mean, from the jump ball, it was Jamon's night. She won the jump ball. She went out and dominated. She got her 1,000 point.
Yes.
And she led this team to a win in the first half. And Labiner, Taylor George, Megan Jaji, a bunch. I mean, everybody, really everybody contributed to another good home win.
All right, so let's get our stats. We have them right in front of us here for the game. And the Brooklyn College Bulldogs went 8 of 26 from downtown. Not too bad. Bulldogs maintained their shooting of about 46% from the field, 34 of 74. Baruch was 19 of 53, though their shooting went down as the game went on. But we had 2 double-doubles by the Bulldogs here tonight. Jamont with 20 points, 10 rebounds. Sarah Labiner with 11 points, 12 rebounds. Taylor George had 10 points. And
6 steals.
The Bulldogs held Dawson to 3 points in the second half.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, she had a bad night. 2 of 11 shooting, 0 of 1 from the three-point land, 7 points. But the story for Baruch is the lack of rebounds and the turnovers.
Yep. as we're now going to get two of the Bulldogs in here with us. We have Megan Jage and Chanel Jamat coming in here, and we're going to get both of them and, of course, the head coach on the microphone. And let's bring Chanel Jamat on. First of all, Chanel, congratulations on your 1,000th point as a Brooklyn College Bulldog. Only the 8th player to reach that mark, and still with the whole rest of this season to go and another year to go. And who knows, other records could fall right before us here. Talk about this victory by you guys. You guys played a whole new different style of defense that we have never seen before.
Yeah.
A more full court pressure that was consistent throughout the game. And you guys were able to shut down a very powerful Baruch team that was playing really strong going into this tonight.
Yeah, we really just tried to understand personnel. We really just tried to understand what they wanted to do and try to take it away. So we knew that they like to drive the ball, and they didn't like to take as much threes. They like to take mid-range shots. So we switched up our defense a little. We wanted to switch on everything, and it really worked to our advantage today.
And just being able to get that 1,000 point, I mean, talk about the emotions and seeing your whole team come out there, congratulate you, being one of the leaders on this offense. What does that mean to you?
It means the world. I'm so grateful that I found a home in Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn, but I never knew I would find a basketball home and a basketball program that would accept me like this, and I'm just grateful. So it's a blessing.
As your season will continue, you guys are going to go to City College later this weekend, and then you welcome in the Bloodhounds here next week. Talk to me about the rest of this CUNYAC schedule and how much more important these games get to continue to play the defense and offense the way you guys are playing right now.
We always talk about it. We want to be playing our best basketball towards the end of the season, February, March. When that time comes around, we want to be playing our best basketball. So our focus is just getting better every day in practice and hustling on D and make sure we do what we got to do.
Chanel, congratulations again.
You.
Thank you so much for your time. All right, let's bring in our next Bulldog. It's Megan Jage. Welcome again, Megan.
Hey.
Well, the offense of this Bulldogs team that we saw today is tremendous. You guys got out of the gate and just took it to Baruch in the beginning. And we saw the different type of defense we were seeing you guys play. And was that a new thing that Coach Lang and the rest of the crew wanted to introduce going into the second half of the season?
Yeah. Well, our main goal was we wanted to come out swinging. So, so we put on the press, and our new press is really good. So, yeah. Sorry.
It's okay. Another very good performance, 8 points off the bench, and we're continuing to see really Coach Lang believing in all of his players on the bench, yourself, everyone else, and how important is it to really see those minutes now and to really start to become more of a factor into this Bulldogs offense?
Sorry, what was the question again? Sorry.
Okay, we're seeing a lot more of the bench now,
Yeah.
making more of a role in the game, and to see you now be a part of that and to really be a factor into this offense. Talk to me about how that feels for you to play that type of a role.
Oh, it feels really good because I'm able to contribute, and also for all the players off the bench, it's just really exciting to watch that everyone is able to play and no one's left out. So yeah.
I kind of brought up. I feel like this team kind of has two captains. You have Chanel Jamat, who scored her 1,000th today, the leader of the first crew. Kaylin Richburg, I think, is a very solid captain of the bench crew. And talk to me how important that is, having her back and having her on the bench and just motivating all you guys to continue to play.
Yeah, Kay's a really good player. She has a lot of experience. She is a really good leader because she's very wise as a player, and she's just a good point guard, and she truly leads us. So yeah.
Megan Jage, congratulations, very solid performance. And now we're going to bring in the head coach of the Bulldogs. Alex Lang joins us. Coach Lang, first of all, congratulations, very impressive win. Congratulations on Chanel Jamat's 1,000th point. I think one of the earliest Bulldogs we've seen in a long time to do that in just their third year on this crew. And other records definitely in front that maybe could fall, maybe even the all-time. Well, I'm jumping ahead of myself. But let's get back to this game. And we saw you guys play a new type of full-court pressure defense, but maintaining it for a whole game, something we have never seen the Bulldogs really do. What went about the creation of this new defense that we kind of saw today?
We didn't necessarily do it the whole game, but we
for most of it though.
Yeah, we played a lot of it. So, we wanted to up the tempo and use our depth to our advantage. We were subbing in a lot and getting a lot of fresh bodies out there. So it was a good performance tonight.
we're seeing more pieces of the bench and other players really starting to acclimate themselves into the offense. Today was one of the best games of the year for Sarah Labiner, a double-double. And, as we see more and more of her as the game goes on, it's really becoming clear what type of impact she's going to have on this offense. And this is only her first year, so imagine what it'll be like for the next 3 years having a 6'4" player like that. Talk to me about how much Labiner's game has improved over the last couple of games.
Yeah, she's getting comfortable. And today I think she just really did a great job being aggressive and really fighting for rebounds. And, she had a nice size advantage out there, so she was able to do some things around the rim. She played great, I thought, yeah.
As the rest of the season now comes before us here, rest of it against the CUNYAC, talk to me about your games coming up. You'll go to the Nat Holman Gymnasium later this weekend. You'll welcome in the Bloodhounds here next week, another team that's played extremely well. How important is it to be peaking at the right time against this latter half of the CUNYAC schedule?
Yeah, I'm not even sure if we're peaking yet, but we're getting there. And a lot of our freshmen, a lot of our first-year players getting more comfortable. They're building chemistry with each other. They're understanding what we're trying to do. We've got a lot of work to do still. We're not 100% there, but we want to play well against conference opponents, obviously, and we're undefeated right now in conference play, so we're going to keep that going.
All right, Coach Lang, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the win. We'll bring Joe Leo back on the mic, and well, I think Coach Lang, Joe, and the rest of the players, Jajay and Jamat, made very good points. This was a really good team win. You like the way these Bulldogs, from start to finish, played. And this full court pressure, will it be something we're going to see a lot more of? If we do, I think this is going to make the Bulldogs one of the most dangerous teams to play in the CUNYAC Conference.
The one thing for me that I think stood out the most is Coach Lang saying, we're not done. We got a lot of things to improve here. And that's eye-opening after a dominant win like this on your home floor to say, yeah, we're satisfied with where we are right now and we're undefeated, but we got a lot more to do. And I'm interested to see what that means.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you can play that much better than you did tonight because, what more can go right for you?
And for them to do it against a very good opponent in Baruch, which has been playing really well, the Bulldogs were able to shut down Baruch.
Yeah.
I think more than I've ever seen Baruch get shut down in a long time of covering these broadcasts. The Bulldogs held Baruch to 25 points in the second half.
It's an off
for the
night.
Second half. Incredible.
That's not going to happen much at all this year for a squad like Baruch. They are not as bad as they played tonight. I think everyone should believe that.
Yep.
And I think as much as Coach Lang is going to enjoy this win, I think in the back of his head he realizes they're a good team still. We caught them on an off night, and if we go there to Lexington Avenue in a couple of months, that's not going to be the same team.
It will be a raucous crowd at the Arc Arena in Lexington Avenue in Lower Manhattan, where the Bulldogs will play the Bearcats again the second time in the year. But that will be at a later time. Just one last couple notes here. For Chanel Jamat to reach her 1,000th point, and not many juniors have been able to do it in a short amount of time. We've seen Christina Passaturo did it in her third year as a member of the CSI Dolphins, which was incredible. Wow. But to see a player like Jamat do it in her third year and just continuing to evolve as a player and with so much more that she's going to have in front of her.
And the one thing that stands out to me is last year at the beginning of the year, she was a on-the-block sort of player who is athletic enough to get out in space on the break and score some easy baskets off of turnovers. But she's really worked on her game midway through last year up until this point, from beyond the free throw line outwards, and her three-point shot as well. She is a well-round scorer and probably the most prolific scorer in this conference right now.
Really is.
There's not, other than Nia Dawson, who again had an off night tonight, there's not many girls in this conference that can put up points the way that Chanel Jamat can put up points. And it's a testament to her hard work, because much like Ali Mugen last year, she's the first person in this gym when we come to set up. She's already out here putting up shots and working on her game. And that's just a testament to who she is as a person and as a player and the type of leader that she is. Because if the best player on your team is out here 2 hours before a game putting up shots and fine-tuning her game then there's no excuse for the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th person on the bench to do the same.
Absolutely.
It's accountability at the top, and that's part of the reason why they're undefeated in CUNYAC. That's the part of the reason why they're one of the gold standards in this conference, and part of the reason why Chanel Jamont is one of the best players in the conference and in Division III.
Very well said, Joe. We're going to step away for a little bit. Immediately after this game, the men are now going to be taking their turn on the court just about 31 minutes from now. The men's Bulldogs will be taking on the men's Baruch Bearcats. We will have pregame coverage in about another 23 minutes or so from now. But for now, Jonathan Pariente alongside my broadcast partner Joe Leo. You're watching Brooklyn College Bulldogs basketball on YouTube.com, your home for everything